Hello and welcome to another video. Day 10 of Vlogmas is upon us. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm getting sick and tired of filming and editing and driving about. But yeah, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, and share a video of mine with somebody who you think might enjoy them. Today I'll be explaining why non-league football is so important here in Scotland. I'll be ground hopping between some different junior football stadiums, basically non-league stadiums nowadays. And yeah, I'll be visiting some of Glasgow's oldest footballing institutions. So let's go. And so the first example of why Scottish non-league football is so good is this club here, Vale of Clyde. They have been around since 1873 and are considered by some people as the oldest junior club. Obviously junior is in inverted commas, non-league you can call it now, in Scottish football. If they are not the oldest, then they are one of the oldest for certain. And yeah, let's just have a little look over there. Can you see in? Not too sure if you'd be able to, but yeah, I just managed to have a little quick look in this gate here. But yeah, there's more to tell you about this team. So yeah, if not the oldest, they're one of the oldest, from 1873. And to prove how old that is, it was only about a century later, it was only a century before that the country of Australia was settled or found by Captain Cook. So Australia had been about for about 100 years before this club came to be. In the game's early days, they were pretty successful, winning a handful of the much coveted Scottish Junior Cup titles. They play here now at Fullerton Park, and as you can see there, it says founded in 1873. That is so old for one of these clubs to still be around. And yeah, look, you can kind of see in through there. Pretty cool to see. But yeah, they now play in the West of Scotland Football League, which is now part of the senior pyramid. Obviously, junior football is kind of no more these days, and yeah, it's all about, they're all in one pyramid now, the senior teams. Anyway, yes, on to the next club. Now, this club here has a special story. Firstly though, before we get into that, this is the home of St Roch's Football Club. It says they're at the heart of the community since 1920. And yeah, that's what I want to prove today, that non-league football is a big part of the community here. And I'm not having much luck getting inside anywhere today, but could not agree more with that. Support NHS, thank you, St Roch's. Yes, so St Roch's FC, welcome to James McCrory Park. It's a way of life. And here are the gates that have been shut, I guess, for a long time. And look how sad that is. St Roch's Football Club, next home game, St Roch's versus no one. What a shame. But yeah, nicknamed the Candy Rocks, they were formed in 1920. So happy 100th to the boys here of St Roch's. Obviously now in 2020, they are 100 years old this year. And I bet they didn't imagine having their centenary year in kind of these conditions. Their stadium is named after arguably their most famous player of all time. And it's called James McCrory Park. A capacity of around 4,200 people. I wonder if when the pandemic is over, we'll begin to see big crowds at places like this, as yeah, people come out to support their local football teams. As people haven't been able to go to any football for so long, will we see a big increase in people supporting local teams like this one? I do hope so. Anyway, yeah, this club was the first team that Jimmy McCrory ever played for. He's the record goal scorer in top flight British League football with 550 goals. And yeah, such a famous name with such an amazing record, that is why the stadium is named after him here. The vast majority of his goals came for Celtic, and if Wikipedia is to be believed, then he scored more goals than he played games for the club. Not just that though, he managed Celtic for around 20 years and was succeeded by Jock Stein in 1965, just 2 years before they went on to win the European Cup. So yeah, just another example of how, you know, football at this level is not to be sniffed at. And yeah, this is a club where the highest ever, you know, league scorer, the British record, that's where he started his career. So yeah, not to be sniffed at. Obviously a very big part of his history, and thus Celtic's history as well. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, on to the next ground we go. Will we get a little bit more luck in the next ground? I'm not too sure if we'll be able to get in, but might be able to see in from the outside. This is the home of the next non-league club to see today, Maryhill FC. Look at that, the red and black gates. Seems like a proper old ground, this one. Look at that. Although Maryhill were a junior non-league side for the majority of their history, even back in the 1800s, they did join the senior ranks for a little while. They suffered some heavy losses against now disbanded team but legendary side 3rd Lanark when they moved to the senior ranks. So yeah, after a few years went back to their junior roots. And you can see there, 1884 they were founded, another really old club here in Scotland. In 2017, the club made national news when one of their players scored one of the fastest recorded goals in football history. Gavin Stokes scored from around the halfway line in just 3.2 seconds. They play here at Lochburn Park and now compete within the kind of non-league rungs of senior Scottish football, now with the kind of disbandment of what junior football used to be. Junior and senior football, even though it is junior, it is still men's football. It was a different kind of pyramid. It was completely separate. So even if you won the leagues and stuff, you'd never go up into what is the senior football league here until, yeah, this season, where a number of clubs have even had to pull out of the inaugural league of like the West of Scotland League, the East of Scotland League and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, essentially any one of these teams that we see today now would potentially be able to eventually make their way up into the real Scottish league system. But yeah, that is Maryhill, the 3rd closed ground of the day. As is the case with a lot of the non-league clubs, some of them aren't even playing football this season. But yeah, that's the 3rd one done. Let's see what number 4 has to offer. Also known as the Drum, I've visited Drumchapel Amateurs once before in one of my videos. When I was here for my Clyde Bank video, I hadn't realised what a legendary club this was. Just listen to the list of legendary people that have come through this football club. Walter Smith, Alex Ferguson, David Moyes, Andy Gray, Archie Gemmell, just to name a few. So yeah, a number of really high profile players turned managers, you know, football legends have come through here and kind of played their earliest football here basically as youngsters. And it was through a lot of people in the comments telling me in my Clydebank video how many legends came through here, and yeah, I hadn't actually realised. Look at that, the old dugout in the back there, the black and the red. I like the way the kind of stadium's branded. Yeah, a lot of players have come through here who have gone on to win Scottish Leagues, Champions Leagues, European Cups, FA Cups, English League titles and much, much more. And I hope that just shows you how important, you know, these clubs that we're visiting today are. This is the grassroots heart of football where stars are born. Once football restarts properly and fans can go back and stuff, please do go and support your local non-league club. I'd love to see, you know, people turn up and support these local clubs. And I'm sure there'll be an influx at the start of fans who want to go and support their local team. Anyway, on to the next club we go. Also known as the Loch, Pollock FC is a place I've been meaning to come for a while. I've had a lot of requests to come here, and finally, here I am. Yeah, it doesn't look like the stadium lottery's paid off much there. I've not been inside one, but I guess they are smaller non-league sides, so to find people knocking about around here, it's going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, look, you can see really well from the outside into the home of Pollock FC, and to be honest, I've got to say it, this is the best stadium that I've seen today so far, out of all 5. Formed in 1908, Pollock Football Club were an offshoot of the Cricket Club. Many clubs did this back in the day to find a way for the cricket players of the time to stay fit during the non-cricket season and during winter. Pollock now play at Newlandsfield Park here, just outside of Glasgow, or pretty close to Glasgow actually. And yeah, they're one of the most well-supported non-league teams here in all of Scotland. Pre-2020, from what I could see online, they were attracting crowds of about 700 people at some matches. I hope we see crowds like this come back once we're allowed to, and maybe even increase, especially in those early times when things are opened up properly again. I'd love to see an influx of support for local football. Not just in this country, but in England and everywhere else around the world as well. They've won a few junior cups here in the 1980s and 1990s, so they've been kind of successful in more modern times, unlike some of the other clubs we've seen today who won Scottish Junior Cups back in like the 1800s and stuff. They're currently one of the clubs that is not this season competing in the league structure here in Scotland. Due to no matchday income and concerns over player safety, they completely withdrew from the league. Remember, this season junior Scottish football, which was usually completely separate to the senior ranks, joined up with the senior ranks, and it's now all part of the same Scottish senior football pyramid. So yeah, in its first season, you know, these leagues aren't really being able to be played to their full capacity. But they've had some good players come through at this club who have gone on to play professionally at big football clubs. Please do remember to hit that like button on this video, it really does help, and share one of my videos with someone else. I'm trying really hard to pump out as many videos as I can during December and keep you all entertained during Christmas. Please do subscribe if you aren't already as well. I'll leave some videos on screen so you can keep watching my content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.